Wildcard weekend isn't technically over, but we're going to fire up a portfolio review. It's been too long since we've done one of these. We'll recap some of the action in the BR streets on Underdog. We will tap through some playoff basketball teams, see if we have anything percolating over there. And then we'll set our sights on Monday Night Football. Should be a good game tonight. Maybe we can build a few pick'ems, all that good stuff. I'm Pete. This is the portfolio review. Let's do it.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust down AP, 35 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone, indeed. What is up, Josh? What is up, Fatty McFats? Yeah, a little different schedule than normal. I generally do these at 10 a.m. But I didn't think I had an hour and a half in me this morning. I didn't play on DraftKings over the weekend, and we normally spend a good chunk of time reviewing DraftKings lineups. So yeah, a little hour portfolio review today, and then ADP chasing is going to be live at 11:30. So if you guys want to keep the good times rolling, you can just head over there. And then I believe Davis is doing a stream right after that. So like usual, a full block of Monday content here. Everybody strolling up into the chat. What's up, Brandon, AJ, Don, AZ Cards? What's up, Chris? One of the mini Stevens, Laura Jane. I am feeling cozy. It's a hoodie kind of morning. It's been extremely cold here. Actually, it's a little better today, 33 degrees. We had some over the weekend. We were down in the low 20s, so I'll take it. But yeah, staying cozy in the hoodie. What's up, Graphic? How we doing here? Brady. Oh, my guy David coming in hot with the gifting of memberships here. I believe, David, what contest was this? Was this the primetime dive? I got to pull it up. You tagged me in it on Twitter. I'll pull this up. I know you had a nice score yesterday. Let me get my my stuff situated here, and we'll see what you had cooking. All right, here we go. All right, this was David's team here in, $2,000 first place. Let's see what David says. Which contest was this? There you go. Binked the primetime hurry up, now paying it forward, gifting 10 memberships to the amazing channel. Thanks for the content. Hey, appreciate that, man, and congratulations. Let's take a quick look at this lineup. Primetime hurry up. So you had the Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Looking good. Looking good. Naked Josh Allen, definitely what you needed. I don't think anyone was scrolling down to Curtis Samuel, so that works. Jacobs, man, that run that Jacobs had, he didn't score on the run. They gave him the 1 yard carry after, but that was a grown-ass man run. Mike Evans taking care of business against Lattimore. Terry McLaurin, nice game. Dallas Goedert, talk about a grown-ass man play. Holy shit. That double stiff arm on the way to the end zone for Dallas Goedert, I was like, oh, I was not familiar with your game, sir. But congratulations, David. Always nice to get a bink there, and looks like a really solid lineup. Being able to turn $3 into $2,000. That's the American dream right there. Congratulations. Congratulations. Let's see here. TCD, we need some government lobbying to make every Monday a work holiday too. Too much content. Yeah, I feel you. All right. Yes. So congratulations on those of you guys who got the YouTube memberships. The part with the memberships, we are likely not going to have too many more crams. I might do one for the Super Bowl. Could do something like that because I'm actually going to be around this year. Normally I'm traveling with Underdog Super Bowl weekend, but I will be around this year. So maybe one more cram. I will keep the After Darks rolling. Not going to have one this week because I'm traveling. I do my annual trip with my college buddies for divisional round weekend, so I will not be around. But other than that, either Friday or Saturday nights, we'll always have an After Dark They were kind of DFS after darks in season. It'll probably start to morph into best ball after darks as the off season progresses. But with your YouTube membership, you guys will always get access to those premium shows on Saturday nights. We had a fun time this past Saturday. I just fired up a stream during that Steelers-Ravens game. Nez and Gretsch swung by. We had fun hanging out during that one. But congratulations again, David, and thank you for gifting the memberships. Very generous of you there. Don said, I had a top 10 in every single featured slate for DFS this weekend in 0 first places. Painfully happy, right? What do they say? You just got to get the shots on goal. Getting in the top 10, that's the skill. Winning first, that's the luck. There you go, buddy. Yeah, everybody's got sweats going tonight. I actually don't think I have too many sweats in the BR streets. We can tab through that. I was pretty happy with how I played, but just not enough Derrick Henry. So we can go look at my exposures there. And so I don't think it's gonna pan out. It ended up being an interesting slate in that it was so low scoring, and any kind of correlation on game environments really was not going to hit. It's like, I have so many lad teams that have Herbert, and it's like, okay, those are dusted. You could get away with Derrick Henry paired with Lamar, but if you then paired Lamar with a Mark Andrews or something like that, then those were sunk. Same with, you could get away with Hurts and Goddard, but you couldn't have AJ Brown, Barkley, or Devontae on those teams. So it ended up being a tricky slate. Obviously, this slate is not over, right? I mean, we have a game tonight that I think has a pretty wide range of outcomes. Would not be shocked to see a ton of points scored and a lot of teams surging up the leaderboard. But yeah, you really needed Derrick Henry. You needed Lad McConkey, and those two kind of lined up ADP-wise. There's this ridiculous team in DeBomb that I can't believe they were able to get this. This team started out with Derrick Henry at pick 3, so they already get the ADP slide. Then they get Mike Evans coming back to them at pick 10, so Mike Evans slides. Then they get Nico at pick 15, a 5-pick slide. But the slides are not done yet. Clearly, I'm not tilting this. And then they get Lad McConkey at pick 22, 10 picks past ADP. I mean, you just don't have any chance against this lineup here when you're able to get Derrick Henry, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, and Lad in the same draft. I don't know what was going on in this DeBomb room where everyone was feeling so generous to pass on Lad McConkey all the way to pick 22. My goodness. And it's going to be able to survive the Pat Freiermuth 3-ball when you're able to get in Lad, Nico, Evans, and Henry there. What's up, Angelina? What's up, Star Tours? Ballless life. I want to work 13 hours, 3 days a week and have 4 days off. All right. I don't know. Bring that to your employer. See what they say. Yes. Invite AJ Brown to the book club. That was awesome. Yeah. If you guys, I assume most of you guys saw this. I think I have it in my bookmarks here. Yeah. AJ Brown reading, this book on the sidelines, Inner Excellence here. Apparently he's been reading this or bringing this to games throughout the year. They asked him about it after the game. But this is apparently just the first time that the cameras have caught him reading this. But pretty incredible stuff here. I love it. It's like, you think about all the divas we have at the wide receiver position in the NFL. You know, George Pickens has a meltdown basically every single week. And AJ Brown is just our stoic king over there on the sideline, reading a self-help book as he only has one catch in this game. The one time he could have gotten loose for a touchdown on that fake tush push play and Jalen Hurts overthrows him. I loved that fake tush push play too. I think on a Shipcast, I had brought up that they need to run that at some point in a key moment, right? Because you just constantly do the tush push over and over. I'm kind of surprised that AJ Brown wasn't more wide open on that, just because you really lull the defense into a false sense of security. So I did love that play call. And then Jalen Hurts kind of sailed him and AJ Brown got twisted around and couldn't make the catch. But yeah, AJ Brown reading a self-help book on the sideline. You love to see it. I forget. I looked up the, I saw that Ian bought it. No, the author's name is Jim Murphy. Inner Excellence is an entire lifestyle and training system based on centuries old principles of love, wisdom, and courage. This step-by-step training manual from one of the world's top mental skills coaches will teach you how to train your mind like the very best. I mean, what an incredible viral marketing opportunity for Jim Murphy. I mean, I guarantee you Jim's sales just absolutely spiked yesterday. I need to ask Ian, do you guys think Ian, let's see here. Where's Ian's order? So Ian ordered this. Do you think he did this just for the social media equity and then hit the refund on it? Or do you think Ian's actually going to see this purchase through and read the book? I love the mountains on the cover too. Nothing says self-help book, like some snow-capped mountains, the sun poking through the clouds. What's up, JG? What's up, Jonathan? Yeah, so we can look at some of these. I do not have a lot cooking here. Let me quickly show you guys my exposures for this slate. Had a good chunk of Lad here. You can see wide receivers. My top 4 were Puka, Evans, AJ Brown, and Lad. So the Lad stuff was good. But the issue here is at the running back position, only having 9.4% Derrick Henry, which it's going to be very hard to overcome 9.4% when he was absolutely the play you needed in the first round there and just paired up so perfectly with Lad ADP. So yeah, Bucky doesn't get the monster game. I do still have a decent amount of Kyron in Puka, but you would need pretty outlier performances from those guys to hit. Tight end as well. I was pretty heavy on Andrews and light on Goddard. I was doing a lot of mixing and matching these late tight ends, like really smoothed out down here. Have a decent amount of hot going tonight as well. But yeah, Goddard so far, the guy you needed. I believe, is Goddard the only tight end who found the end zone so far across all those games? I think that's right? No other tight end scored. Classic. Quarterbacks did have Lamar, Allen, Jaden up here. Really, really flat at quarterback there. So yeah, the not having Derrick Henry on a slate where you had to have Derrick Henry certainly hurts. We can look at some of the teams up here. The team in the first right now, a pretty logical team. Honestly, you start out with Derrick Henry. You get the Lamar fall, which would happen a decent bit. You could get Henry with Lamar. Then you come back and grab Lad. And then in the 4th round, you grabbed a falling Joe Mixon. Then you grab and then George Pickens and Dallas Goedert. But as far as like a correlated lineup, Lamar, Henry with a Pickens bring back, a Joe Mixon, Lad, McConkey mini correlation, and then a Dallas Goedert one-off tight end play, just like a very sound lineup there. We'll see let's see what's cooking in the leaderboard that could charge here. I'm trying to find someone with PMR. Wait, the guy in first place, Manta Ray 31, is the next guy down here. This is a nice spot to be in. You are winning BR, and the team behind you that has PMR in 34th place is your team as well. A Jaden Daniels, Henry, Evans, Lad, George with TJ Hockenson. Man, that is really nice because a lot of the teams that have PMR remaining, I assume, are TJ Hockenson picks. Man, he could go 1-2. Yeah, like Awin has Hockenson here. He's blocked. Dude, what a performance by Manta Ray. There's our guy. Sam Olsen has TJ Hockenson blocked. Yeah, he's going to ship this. I mean, I guess has to be some teams way down here that have some game stacks. But this is a pretty big lead to have opened up here. Wow. Yeah, good shit for Manta Ray here. Going to take a lot, I think, to lose that. What was the thought on the Derrick fade? Curious on thoughts, even if it didn't work out. Honestly, it was a product of a couple of things. mainly, and honestly, this was a mistake by me. I generally play round one in BRs like straight up. And by straight up, I mean off of ADP, and whatever slot, and I'll end up having, whatever the percentage is, 16, 17% of each guy, 16% of each of the round one guys. But I really liked Bucky and Puka were some of my favorite round one guys. And I didn't think there was much of a projection gap between those guys. And so I just kind of took an exploitative stance on that and loaded up on my guys. And it was a little uncharacteristic for me because I'm normally just an ADP bro in round one, but liked the idea of getting some unique combos with Puka and Bucky, who were kind of my favorite plays there. But yeah, that definitely backfired, and a pretty good lesson for me. The one time I start to IKB round one. But yeah, Henry obviously in a really good spot. And I did not have enough. Yeah, no excuses. Play like a champion. How likely was it to get Lamar with Henry in playoff best ball? It was impossible on redacted site. Yeah, it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard to do it. I only did 40 or 50 drafts. I don't ever remember having the option to get it. Yeah, someone else who did more drafts than me might be able to speak on that. Yeah, do we think teams with Darnold, A. Jones, Jefferson have the ceiling to catch up, you think? Yeah, maybe. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there are combos. Like if that game goes off tonight, I'm sure there are ways to get it. The problem is this with like the Jefferson and Puka stuff, right? You think about the 2v2s, like round one, you have to, like the Henry Ladd combo is going to be almost impossible to displace because you're going to need to get those running back points elsewhere. Like if you have Jefferson, you don't have Derrick Henry. If you have Puka, you don't have Derrick Henry. So even if those guys drop 30 and then you still have, let's say, Ladd as your round two pick, you have to make up those running back points somewhere to compete with those 2v2s that the Derrick Henry teams have. I think the biggest way would probably be through the quarterback and the tight end position, right? Like if you could get Darnold or Stafford separating and then Hockenson separating, then you could maybe make up enough ground. But it just seems hard the way the ADP lined up with the Derrick Ladd combos to be able to beat those 2v2s. Maybe it's something like a backstack. Like, do we think there are any teams that have Henry, Ladd, and then like a Darnold double with Addison and Hockenson? I just don't think the Puka and Jefferson teams are going to be able to do it, but I could see a Henry, Ladd, Nico team that then also has like Addison and Hawk on it. That could maybe get it done. It's going to take a really specific team to be able to charge tonight. Dab has a cup team within 22 teams blocking me from first with him above me. So yeah, a 20 burger from cup. All right, people talking about the playoff best ball stuff. It was easy to get when the Steelers were leading the division. Yeah, I did no early playoff best ball drafts, so I have no kind of frame of reference on how the market was behaving before this past week. BBMDB for playoffs, that'd be sweet. All right, let me. I think we should pour some coffee, do some ducks here, and we can continue to bounce around and look at some stuff. Let me get some ducks. Feels like a ducks kind of morning. Feels like a ducks kind of morning. All right, let's get a coffee pour. I haven't done that. Made it 19 minutes into the show with the coffee pour. Come on. Hockey Sense has Darnold, Jefferson, Addison, and Cup. Paired with who? Paired with who? With Henry and Ladd? That could be fun. Yeah, I was kind of lamenting it in the newsletter this morning. I was hoping for a more enjoyable wild card weekend. Like when you look, the Houston and Chargers game was the only game that hit the over. I mean, it was an upset, which was kind of intriguing because we all were pretty confident that the Chargers were going to win. So I guess that was interesting. So that game goes over with 44. Ravens beat down the Steelers. The over doesn't hit there. That was 44.5. Bills smash the Broncos. Don't get to the over there, 48.5. Eagles beat Packers 22-10, 32 points scored. The total was 46. And then even last night, entertaining game at the end, but 43 points scored doesn't come close to hitting the over. Like, we have not gotten a shootout yet this wild card round, which is a little disappointing. Yeah, we'll review the Deposit Kingdom Guillotine League as well. Let's see here. We can tab through a couple of my other wildcard teams. I had a team here. This was the QB Sneak, the $250 single entry. Would have been really nice to get this team closer, and I wasted a lad team. So I had the 101 in this one, and again, this is the stuff that just like, so this contest is 250, but it's only 48 teams. And so I take Barkley, I come back and I grab Lad at the 2-3 turn. And then I reached a little bit on James Cook because I was light on James Cook in my bigger BR portfolio. So I was like, I'll grab a James Cook share here to kind of hedge out some of that. What I really needed was the Derrick Henry, James Cook pairing fade. And then I could have ran away with this contest. Then did a Baker to Jalen stack, and then kind of did the phantom stack, Lad and Will Dissly without Herbert. So yeah, I was feeling decent after that first game, obviously with Lad dropping 30. I was like, oh yeah, this could be one, but just not getting home there with only 84.9 points. This team with 83 points and only 6 to get into the cash line with Aaron Jones is in good shape there. But yeah, this was a rough slate for me. I'm going to end up bricking pretty hard. Let's see if there's anything I have fun. Like the cash line's 81. I have a team here with Kyron and Addison. So I guess like technically could maybe charge up in here. This is looking at these Herbert teams, look at this. Like, this is so gross. I knew I wanted to do a Herbert double stack in one of these small fields. So did a Herbert Lad QJ. To get 9 points combined from Herbert and QJ is just some real disgusting shit. Yeah. This is not a good slate for me. Let's see what's going on in the Deposit Kingdom. Imwald here in first with a Hurts to Goddard with a Jaden Reed bring back. Jaden Reed leaves that game with a shoulder injury in the second half. And then you have this dominant trio at the top, the Derrick Henry, Lad, Nico pairing. But looks like he's going to get chased down here because TJ Hockenson is on the second place team and only needs about a catch for 10 yards to get that done. This is a nice team here too. Naked Baker. Wow, look at this. Naked Baker with no Washington piece. That's a hard team to get on. Man, you get the Nico Lad mini, then Derrick Henry, Jacobs one off, Hockenson one off, Baker one off, and going to take it down most likely. Because he's at Hockenson team blocked. Here's an Addison team that's live. 10 points out, so Addison could win it for Denny Dinsmore. There's another Hockenson team that's blocked. There's an Addison team that's blocked. There's a Puka team. Okay, 101 and 18 points out. Yeah, so a big Puka game or a big Addison game could flip the Deposit Kingdom leaderboard. Yeah, man, the Lad thing, Beastper says it's wild that you need Lad and they only put up 12. I mean, that one busted play touchdown. What was it? An 88-yard touchdown. That flipped a lot of shit in both DFS and in playoff best ball. Because there would have been a lot of different ways I think you could have won this week if Ladd hadn't scored that 88-yard touchdown. But yeah, now he's like this year's Jake Ferguson, right? Where he's going to advance a lot of the Chargers teams. The Chargers were a very popular, advance rate piece. Ladd, J.K. Dobbins, Justin Herbert, some people tacking on QJ and Disley, and now those teams are going to be in rough shape. I hope you're right, Clipper Nation. Clipper Nation says shootout coming tonight. I hope you're right. Jinx. Jake says Ladd is this year's Ferguson. Jinx. Let's see. I also maxed the Wildcat. I thought it was actually a really good week for autoing. I normally don't auto basically anything with NFL. I like to hand draft, but I autoed most of the Wildcat, just running some different batches because, the biggest issue with autoing is, well, there's two main issues. One, there's no way right now on Underdog to be able to set positional limits to where you would say, never give me a 2 tight end team. So on bigger slates, that can become an issue depending on how you have your rank set up. And then the other thing is like wanting to stack. And sometimes it's hard to stack. But with this slate, you had lots of rushing quarterbacks. You had all 4 at the top: Hurts, Jaden, Allen, and Lamar, plus Bo Nix late. So you could easily set up a lot of naked QBs. And then on top of it, with tight end, you could basically just put Mark Andrews at ADP. He was kind of the clear, top tight end. And then you could just have kind of the rest of your tight ends in a bunch, shuffle them around in your rank. So I actually liked autoing a lot, how this stuff shook out. And I was reviewing my teams as I was autoing batches of Wildcats and really liked them. So I was like, all right, let's just continue with this and max this out. Looks like this is my best team here. A Jalen Hurts to Goddard, Derrick Henry, Nico, Terry McLaurin, Pickens. So yeah, interesting. No Ladd on this team here, but pretty strong elsewhere. Let's see if I have any. So I haven't even looked at these teams here. Here's a team with 90 points that has Cooper Kupp going. So yeah, if Cooper Kupp can score 40 points, that would be good. Do we have any game stacks within striking distance? Here's a Kyron team, a TJ Hockenson team. Yeah, I'm so dusted. There's a double tight end team. So there I accidentally ran into it. Sometimes with Hawk would really fall, I'd accidentally end up with double tight end. Here's a team that has Aaron Jones and Puka. But yeah, just way too far out to make any noise here in this. All right, here's a Stafford Hockenson team. I have a naked Stafford team. I'm sure that'll work out great. So much pain. I was so excited for this slate. Blasted off. 2,500 in play here, and just didn't have enough Derrick Henry. That's like a fitting into my BR season. Getting shoved in a locker by Derrick Henry. Yeah, I was in. I think what was the end of that game? I was putting April to bed or getting her ready for bed, so I didn't see that. I assume he had a breakaway carry and then just slid to kneel it out. That's definitely another kind of butterfly effect moment for both the BR slate and the playoff best ball stuff. Because how many points did Barkley finish with? Barkley had 13.3. So if he scores there, he's up to 20. Maybe then that gives you a chance to catch up on some of the Derrick Henry teams. Did you see the tweet that said the NFL fixes him because Barkley didn't score that TD? These are your opponents. Yeah. It's true. I did not see the tweet, but I believe that it's out there. I certainly believe it. Yeah, playoff best ball, man. We were pretty bummed with our ship chasing portfolio. We built a ton of teams with the ETR guys, and heading into last night, we were like, our portfolio was like nutted. It was really, really good. We had a team that was in solo first for a while, but so much of our portfolio was built on, Bucky and Evans and Tampa wins. And now we need we basically had a setup where if the Bucs would have won, we would have had like 15 to 20 really good live teams. And now what we need is more specific. We need Jefferson to fail tonight. We need Hockenson to have a big game. Would be big. And then the other huge thing is we had a lot of Zane Gonzalez and a decent fade on Terry. So that one hurts. So next week we're going to somehow need Zane to outscore Terry McLaurin. And have a Terry dud so that those Zane versus Terry teams. If this all sounds like gibberish to you, we did a full week of content over on the Ship Chasing about this contest. It's a really interesting dynamic where you pick a player from every single team except two. So two teams you hard fade, you don't have it all. So if you hard faded Pittsburgh, if you hard faded Denver, you're in pretty good shape there. And then you have to have soft fades on two teams, which involves kicker and defense. And so two teams that get bounced out, you're going to want to have correctly identified the best piece. And so if you played Bucky over Evans, you can get away with Evans in a Bucs loss because he's now probably the optimal play from the Bucs from a scoring perspective, which then just wipes out a huge swath of Bucky teams. So it's this weird contest where you do really have to be perfect in how the bracket breaks. So yeah, Tampa losing, that was a gut punch there for sure. We have some teams that are live. They just now rely on some really specific stuff, mainly Hockenson outscoring Jefferson, which doesn't feel good, but it's kind of one of the leverage angles. But yeah, Terry being chalk in hitting was a tough pill to swallow. Steven says, my first year on Underdog. I wonder which Steven this is. It could be any. Could be any of 14 Stevens. I have found getting the right players together is not easy. I imagine we all have most of the guys that scored well, just not on the same team. For sure. I mean, this is the name of the game with combos, right? And there is, lots of elements at play with it. Obviously, one thing is volume, right? The more teams you draft, the more potential you are going to have to cover the board, so to speak, to get more combos available. And then there are a couple different ways to get unique combos or get the combos in the right place. We looked at that DeBomb team, right? The reason that DeBomb team smashed is because it got unique combos via ADP values. Just took the best player, the screaming value on the board at every pick. Derrick Henry at 3, sign me up. Mike Evans at 10, sign me up. Nico Collins at 12, sign me up. Lad McConkey at 22, sign me up. That took nothing. The other thing you can do is to reach for players to get unique combos. So that's what I was doing, sometimes taking Puka or Bucky at 2, being my Puka and Bucky teams might be paired with different stuff at the 2-3 turn than a lot of the teams who are taking Puka and Bucky at 4 and 5. That's another way. Or the final thing is just through your individual player takes. If you have a big stand and you want to say example like Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's going to be the QB you need this week. And I'm going to just take a shit ton of Josh Allen and try to get every possible combination with Josh Allen. Then you open yourselves up to a lot of variance as far as if Josh Allen is the optimal quarterback, well, now you're dancing and you got a lot of live teams. And if he's not, GG's, see you next slate, because your entire portfolio is going to be cratered by a big, exposure stand. So yeah, the combo stuff is really important. And again, this is why there are kind of pros and cons to the auto drafting. A lot of times the auto drafters will get a lot of combos that are unique because they're just scooping up the value that gets passed in a room. That certainly happens in NBA a lot as well. But yeah, it's that's why it's so fun and also so hard, right? To be able to get those combos, because it's not like you're going into a slate. No one's going to go into this slate and be like, I need to get a lot of Derrick Henry and Ladd together, right? I suppose both were good plays, but so were a lot of the round one plays. So no one's necessarily going out of their way to get two uncorrelated pieces. And it just so happened that those pieces lined up ADP wise, which then makes it just kind of a devastatingly dominant combo, because there's going to be a lot of teams that get funneled to that. And then if you don't have those, which I didn't in mass because I didn't have enough Derrick Henry, then it's just like, we'll see you next week. Yep, I like doing this 2 at 5-6. I was taking Puka and Bucky and then pairing with a guy at the 2-3 turn anyway, since I didn't want the QB chalk pair. Yeah, tons of, there was lots of Bucky and Evans chalk pairings, lots of Puka with with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, stuff like that the auto drafters will get funneled to, or people just kind of on autopilot mode with their drafting would get funneled to. And on a slate like this, I would say there was kind of a tier break after pick 9 or 10. I'd say once Lamar was off the board, once you were down to Lad and Nico, was a slight tier break from round 1. Whereas then the guys on the back half of round 2, let's say, your Jacobs, your Mixons, your Mark Andrews, like you could certainly justify pulling those guys up. But yeah, it's not easy. The more drafts you do, the better feel you get for it. And some stuff just, you build it up over time, kind of knowing, hey, I just did 15 drafts in a row and I kind of understand how these combos shake out. Let me mix it up by reaching, like Dab is saying here. Or you do a bunch of drafts in a row and you're like, holy shit, I have not received, I've never gotten a Derrick Henry, Mike Evans team before. Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm going to take the ADP value there. Would I do the exposure stand often? Pete, not in round 1. Not in round 1. I'm normally pretty spread out there. Definitely would have big exposure stands in the later round picks. I'm trying to think of like a good example. Like the closest I would get, would be a really well projected running back, who's had like around 5 ADP because they had a bad matchup. I think it was Tony Pollard a few times this year, Jonathan Taylor a few times this year. And then I would feel comfortable loading up where I'm like, I think this guy can give me first round value, and I'm willing to approach, 25 to 30% across, let's say 200 teams on a week or something like that. But it had to be a pretty specific spot. But I generally am more of a smoothed out guy. I was legit kind of randomizing my tight end selections this week because I just thought they were all the same. I thought Mark Andrews was in a cut above the rest, and then just randomizing otherwise. So I ended up with decent amount of Schultz, Kincaid, Disley, kind of all over the map there. But that's kind of how I prefer to play. And that's why I like the weeks where things are kind of flatter from a points perspective, where there isn't, you have to have this combo and every other team is dead. I like it when there's multiple paths to winning. But it sometimes just does not work out. Like I had one team in the BR that I was excited about. And then Nick's, this was my team here. So I had this start on Saturday. So I had Derrick Henry and I had Lad there. And so I was like, all right, now heading into Sunday, I had a naked Bo Nix, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, and Tucker Kraft. So it's like this one could cook, right? Like once you have those 60 points banked there, and I assumed this would be a pretty unique combo with Bo Nix not getting drafted. And then that game starts with Bo Nix throwing that bomb to Troy Franklin. I was like, all right, let's fucking go. I'm like, if Bo Nix can get to 25, all of a sudden you are lapping any of the Allen and Lamar teams just because you have the Henry McConkey combo that they didn't have access to. I was starting to get a little excited about this team, and then Bo Nix stalled out, and then Devontae and Tucker Kraft flopped. And so I was like, all right, well, going to waste that one. Nice combo. The Ducks are literally playing right now, chat. I can hear them. Am I the only one that can hear the Ducks? Can you guys seriously not hear the Ducks? They're playing out of my speaker right now. Do I need to turn it up? I don't like turning it up too much because then sometimes the audio listeners complain about it after the fact. All right, the Ducks. All right, I thought you were gaslighting me there about the Ducks. Yeah, that game was, man, of all the tilting things this weekend, Sean Payton's play calling in the second half was maddening. I mean, Sean Payton, man, he has that fake punt, which was like very inspired. I was like, let's go. That was a sick play call. Then a few plays later, they're 4th and 7, and he just punts it. He's like, well, I guess it's time to stop being aggressive. Like, you didn't want to just go out there. And it's like, when you're such a big underdog like that, that's why the fake punt call was so cool, because like, you're a big underdog. You're going to lose no matter what. Fucking go for it. Have some balls. Why not go for it on 4th and 7? Doesn't have to be another fake punt. Just go for it. And then, you know, he does this bullshit. Someone told Sean Payton that, you know, he's going to evaporate or blow up if he uses the same running back on back-to-back carries, constantly subbing out the running backs, literally never lets one running back get in a groove. The entire second half, he's wasting 1st and 2nd downs with halfback dives up the middle, putting Bo Nix in 3rd and impossible situations, literally drawing up a game plan as if they were up by 20 points. It was so frustrating. Treating Bo Nix like he's Tim Tebow. It's like, Bo Nix is good. He's a playmaker. Let him operate. Give him 3 downs of dropping back, scrambling, throwing the ball. Just such a frustrating game to watch from Sean Payton. What else was I talking about? Let's see. What else were we going to look at? A couple playoff best ball stuff. Like I said, I did not do a ton of playoff best ball volume this year. It looks like I got to 54 entries, ended up getting 35 in the gauntlet, got 5 in the big mitten, and it looks like I'm probably going to brick the big mitten. I do not have a single team advancing here. I need to see if I have anyone going tonight. This is a bummer team to lose, because this was a Chiefs Commanders team. But again, like Barkley, Chiefs, Eagles, and Commanders. But not going to be enough in this one. Let's see here if we have any sweats. Here's a Chiefs, Eagles, and Buffalo. That one's dead. Here is a Tampa, Detroit, and Buffalo. That one's dead. Here is a Eagles, KC, and a hodgepodge of shit. This one's dead. And a Lamar, Tampa. This one's dead. All of my big mittens dead. $500 donation to the Playoff Best Ball community. You're welcome very much. Looks like I have some teams that are advancing in the gauntlet. This is a Buffalo Tampa team, so that's going to be dead. Although it has KC. I'm just trying to find one clean team. Is there one clean team? Here's a Philly, KC, Washington. Okay. This team can be good if it holds on. Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Pacheco, Ty Johnson, Brian Robinson, Devontae Smith, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, Terry McLaurin, Kincaid, Knox. All right, that's a good team. One good team. We found one. Here's a Buffalo. Wow. I did a one-off Josh Jacobs in this, I think, to help me advance. So that works out. Buffalo, Detroit, Washington. This team's all over the map. Jeez. Here's a Buffalo Philly onslaught with a Terry McLaurin advance rate piece. So that team's in good shape. Josh Allen, James Cook, Ty Johnson. Here's a Buffalo, Tampa. Look, fucking Tampa, man. Whoa, this team in first has 110 points in this one. A Jaden Daniels. Man, this is what we're going against, guys, at playoff best ball. Congratulations on advancing, Jay Loco. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Barkley, James Cook, Joe Mixon, Puka Nacua, Mike Evans, Ladd McConkey, Nico Collins, and Cortland Sutton. Incredible. Yeah. Who would have thought if you just take all of the best plays, you can advance? This is a Philly, Baltimore, KC team. Okay. This team's pretty good. Hurts, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Gainwell, Samaje Perine, Devontae Smith, Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, Dallas Goedert, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. That team feels good if we can hold off. Yeah, very, very, very solid BR team there. Here's another Hurts Henry team with Baltimore and KC. So I have a couple of these ones. Those seem good. Here's a Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Daniels team. This actually seems fun. Oh, I had a Lad piece, Lad J.K. Dobbins. But you might be able to survive Lad Dobbins as advance rate pieces if you have, then, yeah, Mahomes, Jaden, Barkley, Pacheco, Xavier Worthy, Hopkins, and Likely. Here's a Lamar, Tampa. Ugh, every time I see this Tampa stuff, I just feel sick to my stomach. All right. It's not really worth going through every single one of these and trying to figure out which Minnesota and Rams pieces I still have. I assume a lot of these are going to get shaken up a good bit. All right. Let's see. We got about 15 more minutes before I'm going to dip out and let you guys head over and watch ADP chasing. Let's quickly check in on a couple of the guillotines, and then we'll build a couple pick'ems to wrap up here. Hopefully you guys got in the Deposit Kingdom Guillotine League there. Fantasy Life hooked us up with our own contest. And I said that there's weird kind of like rules and restrictions as far as what you can do as far as giveaways for a free contest when it's being, hosted through an official site. But they told me I could donate my time. So I'm offering the winner of this contest either the opportunity to come on with me for After Dark for an hour, if you want to get on camera, or to just do a 1 hour private call with me about whatever you want. And considering some of the stuff I saw being discussed in the Discord, I already regretted that. But nonetheless, someone will win the right to that. But yeah, this was a fun contest. You could pick max of 3 players from each team. And then each week, 25% of the pool gets cut. And then there's a pretty cool on the leaderboard page. You can see the number of teams remaining, what the current chop line is, 86.48 heading into Monday Night Football, and then the projected chop score line. So I should be okay here in round 1 with 129.8. My starting lineup, I had Allen, Henry, Cook, still got Puka tonight, Evans, Bucky, Khalil Shakur, and Mark Andrews. Let's see this first place team that dropped 160. What's the nutted lineup here? Josh Allen, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Lad McConkey, Zach Ertz. Playing 2 players from the same game, not an ideal strategy for this contest, but you do get the screenshot equity of first place. I need to pour some more coffee here. Frankie wants to know why so light on the playoff best ball. I love too that we've playoff best ball is such like a sicko max thing that even having 50 entries, like to any normal person, 54 entries in a playoff contest would be like, what? But around here, why are you so light at 54? But I do get what you're meaning, because I just didn't have time to draft other than the playoff week in advance. Like I do a ton of stuff with the BRs. I enjoy doing the NBA daily drafts. So a lot of times if I would have an hour to draft, I would do that. And then, same with this week, like this was an awesome BR slate. I was super stoked for it. And I enjoy the weekly BRs more than I do playoff best ball. So it just ended up being a limiting factor with time. If I had infinite amount of time, I would have done more for sure. But I basically had to prioritize. I have X amount of drafting time each week. How do I want to allocate it? And I wanted to allocate it way more to the daily and the weekly games than the playoff best ball. All right, let's see here. I did a couple other guillotine leagues here as well. Looks like I'm in first place. This is our Fantasy Life Work League. It's a different, or I think actually same format, but just a smaller crew here. But I'm sitting in first. I made this team when I first looked at the contest and then didn't update it. But I am going to lose both my Chargers and Bucks pieces. I think I had 3 of each of those on this team. but we might be able to survive it. But yeah, I'm excited to do more with Guillotine stuff next year. I do know they're going to make some tweaks to kind of how the playoff contests work. This was their first year kind of experimenting with some of these formats. So I was already giving my feedback to them on how to make it better. But yeah, these Guillotine contests are very fun. It's the only teams that I will probably manage myself. And I had a lot of fun managing the Guillotine format. So more on that in the future. We only got about 10 minutes. Let's build a pick'em or two for tonight's game. And then I'll get you guys on over to ADP chasing. I am TBD on whether I'll have a portfolio review next week. I'll be coming home from my trip on the red eye Sunday night. I might be down bad and not do it. Otherwise, if I'm feeling up for it, we can do a little post-divisional round portfolio review. But normally divisional weekend, since I always do it with my buddies, it's way less fantasy and way more sports betting. But we'll see. I'm sure I won't be able to resist, and I'll get a few BRs in and whatnot, but scheduled TBD. Let's just check out the quick Underdog Pick'em screener. I have a few things I like in this game tonight. Curious if you guys have anything you like. We can build a couple Pick'ems. My favorite thing tonight, need to sign in. My favorite thing tonight is Stafford and Puka. I think this just sets up really well for them. I think they are like the perfect tandem to kind of mitigate the blitz from Minnesota, get the ball out quick, let Puka cook after the catch. Both Stafford and Puka have been really good against the blitz this year. So I like that stuff. Let's see what the screener likes. Lower on Tyler Higbee receiving yards. Darnold and Stafford lower on sacks taken. Darnold lower on rushing yards. Let me get Corey over to this game here. Let's see. Tutu Atwell, higher receiving yards, pretty small margins here in the lobby. Stafford, lower interceptions. I do like the Cam Akers stuff. I think taking like Aaron Jones lowers and Cam Akers hires makes sense kind of in a correlated fashion. You know, if Cam Akers is getting there, probably means Aaron Jones is getting a little bit less of a workload. Let me pour one more coffee and then we'll build here. Toss out some ideas in the chat if you guys have some pick'em angles you like for tonight's game. Chad said, so I definitely thought you made a new lineup each round. You set your lineup each round. So you are able to, like, you're not locked into your starting lineup, but you are locked into the players you drafted. They do have two different formats. There was the self-contained leagues that they called the Guillotine leagues. And in those, there are waivers, and they operate like the season-long Guillotine does, where your opponent's roster that gets chopped is tossed back in, and you can add and bid on that. But yes, in these championships, it's basically like a mixture of the FFPC playoff style contest and the underdog stuff, except instead of, you know, a pod advancement, it's just a general cut line. But your roster is locked. There's just the manage element of resetting your starting lineup each week. And then if you get to the Super Bowl, you're not even able to field a full starting lineup, which is weird. And I gave them that feedback. You're just going to start whatever players you have available, because the max you could have in the Super Bowl would be 6. All right. Michael Zimmerman likes receiving yards. Don likes D-Rob stuff. Oh, he's anti-D-Rob. Hockenson, 6.5 5 targets. I always do like the target stuff. 6.5 targets. That's a lot. It's a lot. We do really need, I do need Hockenson tonight. Let me get in my, I love Puka tonight. And I love Stafford. This would be kind of like my core that I would start with. And I actually like sliding those guys, but it'd be nice to hit a pick 'em instead of just sliding everything. Someone like Aaron Jones, receiving yards, 19.5. Yeah, he's been smashing this. Wow. Yeah. 20, 26, 30, 30. I like that. Maybe we do one that's involves Aaron Jones higher and then one with Akers. But I do like that receiving yards. All right. See, this is 4.74. I just need to ladder it just a little bit. I just need a little bit. Oh, they only let us take Aaron Jones to 29.5. But he has been getting that 30, 30, 26. Let's just get, let's just have a little fun. This, like 2 minutes ago, I said I just want to win one and I'm not going to ladder it, and then I immediately ladder it. What does this get us up to? 13.3x. That feels more like something I could stomach. Puka gets 110 yards. Stafford throws for 270, and Aaron Jones has 30 receiving yards. I like that script. All right. There's one right there. There's one. All right. Should we do second version of this? And with the Uber slide? Should we just rip it? I think Stafford's going to cap out at like 300 yards. I got to cap him out there. Puka's definitely the one who feels best to slide. You take Aaron Jones that he breaks off one. Sure. This is unhinged. This is unhinged. Here's the slide version. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't try this at home. Yes, Cooter Doodle's been crushing it. Cooter Doodle has been crushing it. Technically, Underdog is not thankful for the donation. My fellow peers in my championship pool are thankful for my donation, because Underdog's going to take their cut no matter what. But it's I'm in a head-to-head pool with hundreds of other champions in the state of Massachusetts. Let's do something. Let's play something opposite. Let's take a Cam Akers higher and an Aaron Jones lower. Kind of like that. Cam Akers higher than 26.5 rushing receiving yards. Aaron Jones lower than 58.5. And then let's do get Puka yards here. Champion. Why am I blanking on this? Slide SD. Oh, Sam Darnold. It took me a second. I'm like, I've never heard Sam Darnold referred to as SD. All right, I like this. This one's clean. Cam Akers higher than 26.5. Aaron Jones lower than 58.5 rushing yards. Puka 110 for a 9xer here. All right, we'll do this last suggestion here from Terrace. You want the Darnold slide? I kind of like the story you're telling here. So we say, all right, what if it's not the Puka game, or what if Kyron does his 2 TD thing? Man, but 2 TDs is only 2.28x. Come on. 2.28 just does not do it for me. 2.28 for 2 touchdowns. Whatever, I'm going to trust your vision. I'm going to trust your vision. The problem with these guys is just like, I mean, Jefferson, you can definitely Uber slide. I guess that gets us to a 44. Let's bring Jefferson down a smidge. 139. That's a 34. Darnold throws for 300. Jefferson, Kyron, 2 TDs. I'll do it for you, man. I'll do it for you. All right. That does suck. I wish I would have saw your comment before I pressed submit for you. All right, guys, appreciate you joining me for this abbreviated portfolio review this morning. Go watch ADP chasing. Like I said, my schedule is going to be pretty slim down this week just because I'm going to have no shows on Friday. I'm traveling. I'm not sure if we're going to have ship chasing this week. We're all pretty Jimmy Butler memed after playoff week. We'll have lulls. We're going to do a special divisional version of Off and On the Clock on Thursday. That'll be earlier, so you can keep an eye out for that. We'll have Swolecast tomorrow, like usual. And I think that's about it. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully we get a fun one. And yeah, I'll catch you guys around the Discord and on the various shows this week. Good luck if you got those sweats. And we'll catch you guys next time on the Portfolio Review. Peace.